happening in schools.
Going on as a, not in a like a syllabus kind of a thing. A syllabus must be prepared for this.
Lord,
There is, my lord. I'll put that on record.
My humble request to the Honorable Court is, my lord, if people are asked to advertise about the ill effects of cancer in movies and theatres, people taking cigarettes voluntarily commit cancer and they die. A rape victim is somebody who suffers the consequences without her fault for the rest of their life. People are only understanding the importance of our laws after they commit the crime and they are told they're going to be hung or given 20 years. This should be made broadcasted in newspapers, it should be broadcast in TVs.
I'll put that on record.
That's what I'm trying to say. This requires a larger issue where everybody is sensitized and made aware. My lord, if they advertise for the purpose of pan gurda or even sanitary pads, it's more important that persons who will indulge in this are told there is a hangman, there is a gallows waiting for you if you treat women like this in this country.
Environmental science,
my lords.
EVS,
yes,
as it's called, those
yes.
That started because of the Supreme Court giving a direction
Absolutely,
that EVS must be taught in schools.
Yes,
Now, this moral and ethical education, broadly speaking, moral science is there in some schools, it is not there. Moral and ethical education, both for boys and girls. Why don't you make us a Union of India?
We have the national.
Union is respondent number one.
Also, NCERT.
Yes.
Is there a book?
Yes,
moral and ethical education for children in schools. Have you got a book?
Well,
why don't you have a certain, timing periods in the timetable for this? It will include all this.
Well, it's the national education policy. Well,
the Delhi High Court was and these subjects were being taught in all schools today.
Yes.
RG will give you details of all.
Lord, I want to say something more.
This court,
the Supreme Court.
He's from
Secretary General.
He is from
Delhi Judiciary.
He was in charge of those programs.
Because we have the national education policy also. That also has something. But I will put that everything on record. I understand what's falling from my lord.
If they make a syllabus,
yes,
then that book or whatever you publish,
yes,
that must be studied by everybody. Because certain schools are not having moral education at all. Even if they have, that period is cancelled and some subject is taken that time.
My lord, I want one more problem to be highlighted, my lord. It's not
the content of that. You see, equality between boy child and girl child must begin at home and in school. How do parents bring up a boy child? How do parents bring up a girl child? There is the deception and discrimination is there at home. That should not be there.
It should not be there,
My lords, with your lordship's kind permission, I would like to mention that there is a petition already before Court 3, my lord. Lordships were pleased to issue notice on December 16th, where we had sought the implementation of all these acts, acts, my lord, pardon me, Pan-India safety guidelines for women, children and third gender. And we have also made a compilation.
On that, we are...
No, my lords, this national policy, moral policy, education, everything is part of that that writ petition also, my lords. So, and that's coming up before on March 5th.
I will prepare.
Unless this kind of, see what they call in Hindi, it is there in other languages also. Paraya ki ladki. Adaka veetu pandu, Tamil. Vere mane hudgi in Kannada. He is neither here nor there.
I am Tamil born in Karnataka, my lord.
We are, that's why I'm told 3 languages.
4, my lord.
We are all aware, my lords. And this is a mindset
of the parents for a girl child. In Tamil it is Adaka veetu pandu.
Adutha veetu ponnu.
Adutha veetu pandu.
Vere
Paraya garki ladki. Vere mane hudgi. She is neither here nor there. In the in-laws house, she is from that house. In the parents' house, she will go to the husband's house. So there is discrimination in the house where the girl child is born. No doubt about it.
Lord, I want to say
what I'm submitting, my lords. Most respectfully, what I'm submitting is...
See, the children also, girl children must also be aware that they cannot be discriminated.
Yes.
Precisely.
At
Precisely.
home or in school.
Lord, I want to say something more.
Slogan must go out of our vocabulary.
I so wish that myself, my lords. We've all dealt with this at some point in life, my lords.
So you
Not
must-
directly, but sometimes indirectly as well. I will put whatever is there, my lords, in the realm of
right to
education.
equality of
Yes.
the girls as a horizontal right.
In fact, my lords, instead of beti bachao, beti padhao, they should make it bete padhao and beti ko badhao. Because that is the state of affairs. That is the state of affairs. The ground reality is that, my lords. There are so many laws, but nothing has been implemented. POXO came to be amended in 2018, my lords, not one single
Parents
death penalty.
know how to bring up their sons.
Right.
They're only concentrating on the restraints on daughters. But how to inculcate restraints on sons is important now.
Lord, may I say something?
Has to be
Lordships are
prescribed.
absolutely right when your Lordships talk of education. I have
Right.
absolutely no quarrel. I'm saying something more. Lord, the deterrence with people who are non-educated is more important. Large number of adults who have not been educated need to be warned through cinema, through media, through various other channels that this is something which is not going to be tolerated, will end up getting hung or spending 20 years in jail. They only realize this after they commit the crime. There's a need to disseminate information about our laws. That's taken by my lords in various judgments, MC Mehta, Swapnil Tripathi. There are a number of judgments.
For the present, I think, my lords, if we can concentrate on the education part,
Education.
my lords.
Education, directions to the educational. See,
Yes.
like you have environmental science.
Yes, my lords.
This should be what is called moral and etiquette, moral and ethical and etiquette.
Yes.
Etiquette manners.
They are there, my lords. The only thing is I'm appearing today for the first time. I have not been able to put that on record. But I'll do that spelling the next day.
Lord, my learned friend must not forget that if everything is so well taken off, the rates won't rise in this country. There's a serious need to change. There's a serious need to have a deterrent effect through the media also, my lords.
I'm not taking this as adversarial. My learned friend can very well take this from me.
That's right.
This
That's
is
right.
definitely not adversarial.
Lord, I want the country to have some kind of fear
Today-
and hope for the ladies. They can't live in insecurity like this. Half our populace is scared. And every time we recover from what we read in the newspaper, in 3 days something else comes. It's difficult, my lord, to concentrate on our jobs. As being a senior counsel, it's a lot of work. I'm taking this up only because I'm gravely concerned. My conscience hurts me that as a lawyer we can't do anything for this.
This is how girl child is asked to speak softly. But a boy, if he raises his voice, shouts, nobody controls him.
But I must say, my lords, it's a mindset which will take some. It's the mindset which will take time to improve. But it's not as if nothing is improving at all. People now, the way women are progressing, my lords, in careers, it's now well felt that they are here to stay. So that mindset, my lords, maybe it will take some time, but it's not. The situation is completely not that dark. I can say that.
Shown in the educational institutions,
Yes.
in schools,
Yes.
this kind of training or whatever awareness to children in schools.
That's right.
You make a syllabus.
I'll
We have
put that on.
heard we have heard the petitioner who has appeared in person and learned senior counsel who has appeared for Union of
Union of
India and others. What will you do now? Will you think about a syllabus?
My instructions are that there are some trainings, modules. Then there is education policy. All that I'll bring it on record. If there is anything which is lacking, I'll also give my suggestions and we'll work on that, my lord.
We have perused the prayers sought for by the petitioner who has appeared in person. We find that essentially the prayers sought for by the petitioner are in the realm of creating awareness about the safety and security of women and girls in India, women and girl child in India. In that regard, the directions for imparting awareness programs in educational institutions have been sought. Learned Senior Counsel appearing for the respondent Union of India and other authorities submitted that she will place on record the existing modules stroke syllabus that is being taught in the schools and or colleges insofar as the concerns expressed by the petitioners herein are concerned. And that if some time is granted, they will be placed on record. Hence, just after 4 weeks.
After 4 weeks.
Lord, I was only making one request to your lordships. I'm very grateful for the order. Lord, what is really needed is we need also the media to come in, just as you advertise for things like tobacco and other things. It can't be only with educated children. What about the adults who are doing this who pass education levels? Please consider what I'm saying. I made prayers to this effect in my prayers, my lord, at page 34 and 35. I leave it to your lordships to consider.
We'll see that. Let us.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm much obliged. I'm much obliged. Much obliged.
Obliged.
Lords, could there be a fixed date, my lords?
We have a list on 8/4.
Very well. Much obliged.
Considering nature of the petition, may I, my lords, otherwise I never make such request. Could there be a my lords, preferential listing to be taken up?
Come up.
My lords, my lords.
Very grateful to your lordships. Much obliged.
Grateful.